meeting for the County Board Vacancy Committee. First item this morning, and we have a copy of the Open Meetings Act is available from Leslie over here. And first item is approval of the minutes, the May 20th, 2019 meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
And I wasn't here at the first, the initial
Okay,
meeting.
I'll second.
I wasn't here I'm going to abstain. I wasn't here at that last meeting, so.
Rachel?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
2 yes with 1 abstention.
Next is discussion of interview questions.
Do we want to discuss more how we're going to do the process, or before we discuss the questions, because it might make a difference how we proceed, what the questions, how many questions we want to use, and then how we will handle it and how we'll do questions. Because I could see a couple of different things happening. I didn't know if we wanted to individually meet with the candidates, or we wanted to narrow down the candidates now that we have 10 of them. And then how we want to proceed. We have to have, with an open meeting, I know we have to proceed with, when we interview, the three of us interview the people, we have to have everybody here, and so they'll all be here. And I did have an idea that we could do, interview all of them at the same time, how many ever we choose, all 10 or a set number, and have them all lined up, and then we ask them questions, and they go round robin with the questions. I've seen that happen with candidates in an open forum for the city council. I think they had 3, 6, 7, 8 candidates in a line, or that was at the last city council when it was open citywide candidates. But I think it makes a difference what questions we asked and what we want to come up with for questions if we know how we weren't going to proceed.
Yeah, I don't disagree, and I think also maybe the number of individuals that we have that apply. I think the application process runs through the end of the business day today, so we could see yet more. But
I assume we will, since there's been 4 this morning.
Right.
So.
Right.
Well, and then the way it's stated, it says submitted. What if somebody puts something in the U.S. mail today and gets postmarked today? Do we have to?
I would be inclined to accept that, because they could have mailed it actually Wednesday and we wouldn't get it till
Yeah, I would
Monday,
be inclined
so.
to accept it.
Yeah, so we probably won't know for sure how many until toward the end of next week, with the way
Right.
mail's been going
Yes.
around here. It has to go to Omaha first.
I had a couple ideas as far as questions, two directions I thought we could go. I hadn't thought of yours. We could each come up with a number, 3 or 4 or 5 questions, forward them to Corey. She could narrow them down, because I assume there'd be some overlap, and come up with, she's pretty good at wordsmithing, and come up with 10. The other thing that I had thought of, we could have 2 questions if we agreed on, which I was thinking, why do you want to be a commissioner? And what do you want to accomplish? And have the candidates come in and give us a 15-minute answer to that question, or those 2 questions. And then we'd have 15 minutes to follow up with any questions that may emerge from that. I thought they could just sit down and tell us, rather than us questioning them. They could just make their case. So that was 2 directions I had thought about.
What do you think of each of us just individually meeting with candidates one-on-one?
I don't think anything precludes us from doing that, but I think at some point we should, in my opinion, we should meet with them as a group.
Oh, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I just was on the side, yeah, as
Right.
another a way to help us get to know and decide.
I do think time, we need to pay attention to time, because
Yes.
even though it's July 3rd, I believe, is the deadline, we have to take into account any background checks that we may want to do, as well as bonding. So we need probably 5 days before the deadline to have somebody selected. Because they do have to get, the way I
Right.
understand it, they have to be bonded during that,
I don't think they have to be bonded after they're appointed.
so it doesn't have to occur in that 45-day period?
Right.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
it'd be after the appointment that the bond would be set.
So then that gives us till July 3rd. then.
I think 5th, I think since the holiday
4th, okay.
falls on the holiday, I think it takes us to the
Okay.
5th. Either way, it doesn't give
Right,
us,
it's-
that extra day isn't gonna be.
Well, unless you want to come in on the 4th.
Well, that's, you know, so, yeah, and before I was thinking we could interview all of them. Now, do we want, it depends, I think, on how many we receive, and if
Right.
we want to open it up and interview to all of them. Because it does take time. If you think, a half hour, which would probably be about right. Right now.
Right.
Have- If
5
you figure,
hours.
yeah, 5 hours with 10, and if
Yeah.
we're not done,
Yeah,
the city council has 24.
right. So, it may be something that we want to look to pare down in some fashion, and that may be through, through the questions that we're gonna be asking, or if we decide, here's questions we wanna answer. And like you said, Dan, maybe we tell them, here are the 2 questions we want, and come on in, and do we give them 2 times before us?
Well, they could do 2 times before us. If we, at both times, we could do the round, well, I guess it wouldn't, if you're only doing 2 questions.
And like to do, and then, depending on how they do with that, get it down to 4 or so, bring in for, once we figure out what our number is for applicants, and we can, get it down to a number to where maybe we can work, with a more in-depth interview of the individuals that are selected after the initial round.
Maybe we could each select 2, and then, of course, there could be some overlap there. We may only
Correct.
end up with 2, I assume it would be 5 or 6. but,
Right.
I would agree. That's not a bad idea. If we, set up a time sooner rather than later, and have them all come in and give them, actually, maybe we shouldn't ask them any questions, because just let them each present and give them, if we gave them 15 minutes and there's 10, we're still going to be here a while, 2.5 hours, probably more, but we gave them 15 minutes to give their case of why they want to, answering the 2 questions that Dan came up with. I thought those are pretty
I'd like
good.
the opportunity to follow up on that, though. I mean.
Well,
I
if we
think that-
wanted, my idea maybe of following up is if we maybe contacted an individual, and that's how we could have one-on-ones with them. I'm not sure, because if we do 10 and we have follow-up,
Well, I mean, I think this is a pretty big responsibility,
Right.
and I think we should do it right. We're
I-
being substituted for
The voters.
18,000 voters, or however many voted in there, so I'm gonna spend as much time as we need to. Interviews, I don't think necessarily have to happen during the day, they could be in the evening. I don't think we're tied to 8 to 4:30. you know, we could have from like 4 until, to 8, because I know it's probably harder for you to get away sometimes, Pat, than maybe for,
Okay.
you know.
It's a priority. It's, you know, so we can make it that, so.
But I'm also concerned with if we have people that are interested, I want to give them a fair
Absolutely.
shake. I think, you know, I want to hear from them. I'm not.
Okay.
I really
Well,
don't
with the
wanna-
follow-up questions, would we have to give the, I mean, I always was careful when I worked at the university with any follow-up questions we had, that I made sure I didn't ask something that we didn't ask everybody. So those follow-up questions, to me, had to be really specific to what they said.
I look at this totally different. We're not, these aren't job applicants. This is a political process. They're running a campaign. So my question for this person may be a little bit different than for this person because of what their strengths are or what their goals are. So I don't think we need to be tied to the same questions necessarily. Now, you may not agree with me on that, but this isn't a normal job application that you're going through human resources. I look at this totally different. This is a political process, so.
Well, I agree with you. I just don't want somebody saying that we gave an unfair advantage to somebody else because we asked them
This-
different types of questions.
This is an elective process. I mean, they're gonna be an elected official. And so they need, if they were running for office, I think I would ask them different questions, not necessarily the same ones. I mean, I don't, now, you may not agree with me on that, but
If, depending on the number of applications that we get, you know, would it be worth doing something, as Dan said, you know, having two kind of set questions, we bring everybody in, they give us an answer, and then we, as a group, I mean, if you have, as Rachel said, if you had a follow-up specifically from that answer to those questions that we wanted to do, and just say, you know, we're gonna limit it to maybe 15 minutes for both your response and then our questions, and then we rank those, you know, we maybe rate them, and then we take the top 5 out of our, you know, we individually score them, you know, whether, you know, we figure out that scoring, you know, 1 to 5 or whatever, and then we rate them and how we score them, and then we bring those applications together, and then we look at it, and based on our scoring, we say, okay, here are the top 5 that we picked from this first one, and we want to re-interview.
Okay.
I mean, I'm throwing that out there as a
Right.
possible process, I don't know.
so I'll make sure we do the 2 questions I suggested for the 15 minutes and then bring back our top 5 or 6.
Yeah, maybe in
answer
the next
additional-
week, bring back the top 5,
Okay.
and we can ask them, you know, maybe some follow-up
Okay.
questions from what they told us, and then see, you know, ask them again about, you know, their
If
thoughts
we
on
have
it.
some specifics then.
Right,
Are you,
okay.
when are you suggesting we do the follow-up, that same,
No, I mean,
Immediately
we could
after?
do like on the first 15 minute, you know, we get the 2 questions, and then we say, okay, give us your response, and then, you know, say, we're gonna, you know, you can respond however much, and then we can ask, you know, a few follow-ups if we have specific follow-ups from their
Okay.
response of those questions. And then we get together and, you know, as we're doing that, we rank them as we wanna rank them, and then we have those numbers, you know, give them to someone, and they can say, okay, here are your top 4, or here are your top 5. We can do that after they all meet. I think that's probably what we
Okay.
should do.
I'm fine with that.
Is that
sounds fine.
and then we can address the people that we said, you know, we want you to come back the following week, and we'll do any follow-up questions, and maybe, you know, if we have any questions that we want to send around between each other,
Well,
or so like you said, send them to Corey, and have her pick out the, you know, the questions.
because I'm sure our questions are gonna be somewhat similar.
Yep.
I would guess.
I would imagine you're
Well,
right.
Yeah, I would bet 75%
Yeah.
of what we have would be,
So do you want, start with the 2 questions, and Dan, I mean.
Are you okay with those 2 questions?
Yeah, why don't you?
say,
let's-
what were
yeah,
those
what-
questions again?
Why do you want to be a commissioner, and what do you want to accomplish? I mean, what drives you? What is it you're after here? And I think we should share that with them ahead of time.
Yeah, and I think that, we can do
Well,
that.
that's already public information, so yes, we
Mhm.
can, when we notify them that we're gonna do this.
I don't want somebody coming in and reading a 3-page report. I want them to come in and tell
Right.
us, so.
Right.
Well,
I don't think we can direct them how to
No,
respond.
I
so-
think they need to respond the way they wanna respond, and that will help you rate
Because
them.
that'll give us an idea,
Okay,
you know,
yeah, all right, I hadn't thought of that, so.
yeah,
No, I don't wanna give them too much
Yeah.
direction.
right, I agree.
So, PowerPoint presentation, should we be prepared for that?
I think we tell them, we're gonna limit them to 15 minutes, and
They can present as.
however they wanna present, if
And
they.
we'll have a timer going.
Well, and, yeah, no, we have to have timer, because some people may take longer.
Right,
And if they say that's what they want to do, they need to make the arrangements. We're not gonna, I don't wanna accommodate that.
Well, we have to have the room ready for
Right.
them to hook up.
Right.
Well, but we don't need to presume that that's what they're gonna do.
No,
They need
no,
to-
I
They
agree.
would need to notify us.
I just need to know if we need a room that is audio, video ready, I guess is what I'm.
I would say yes. I think we have that option available to them, and then,
That's all I need.
So do we give a bonus to somebody if they only take 7 minutes then?
If they answer the question, in my opinion, and we're satisfied with it, that's a good thing.
well, yeah, I was gonna say, if this is a political process, these are politicians, so
Yeah, okay.
give them to
Yeah.
7 minutes, maybe difficult.
So is 15 enough? That's the question.
No, well, it should be. Usually what I have, I get tired of people that go on and on and on. And I've always tried to keep my stuff short. And people seem to appreciate that, so.
Concise is good. So- But I think they should be able to say whatever they want to say, and I think that's
Right.
important for us to hear that and give them that opportunity. So, probably the council room maybe,
Room 113
It-
down on the
yeah.
first floor.
yeah.
Okay. We will check on its availability.
Yeah, and do you know, I mean, because the other thing then we probably need to do is determine what time frame we're taking.
I think Corey could do that through email maybe, and
Okay,
I think maybe 2 to 3 different sessions, depending on the number we have, or
Whatever works for you guys.
and do you want to do 2 or 3 different sessions, or give them all at one time?
depends on your everybody's availability.
I'll make myself available, I mean,
And would you like to be done by 5, or do you want to go into a little bit into the evening? What's your,
I wouldn't want to go from like 1 to 8 type of thing, because, we will need a break.
Sure.
well, sure, I mean, I don't think we go solid.
But,
I mean,
I wouldn't mind getting it all over at once.
Okay,
And to me, then,
I think that's fair for the
It's-
public,
it's-
so the public
right.
doesn't have to, if they want to be there to listen to it, they don't have to come in on different times, so I think we make ourselves available, and I think we can all,
but if
We
we're
can all-
doing 15 minutes, I think we can get
And
quite a
we-
few done here.
and we can try and limit our
follow-ups.
follow-ups to,
Yeah, 1 or 2 questions.
yeah, hopefully.
And is that 15 minutes encompassing everything? Are we going to allow a 20-minute block of time per applicant? You guys tell me what you want so I can plan accordingly. 15-minute presentation, 5-minute follow-up, 15-minute presentation, including any follow-up from you. I mean, it's kind of hard to cut them off if we're going to give them direction on how long they get to present, so.
Oh, well, we should, if we're gonna say 15 minutes, they should be cut off at
Well, should
15
we-
minutes.
So then 3-minute blocks?
Should we do follow-ups just to the ones we narrowed down, or to everyone?
Well, probably you wanna do it to everyone, because if
If you
you're
have
wanting to
something.
decide, we should give them a follow-up right then and there.
So
Yeah, I
maybe,
mean-
let's allow a half hour, and we can have a break in between then, and, does that seem reasonable?
Schedule them every half hour
We'll do every 20 minutes.
or every 20 minutes.
Well, let's let them be, in case somebody goes quick, we can get done sooner. Let's schedule them like every 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And
we'll
then
tell
our
'em 15
follow-up.
minutes, and then, we'll,
No one has to keep track of time and have to,
yeah, I mean, I think our follow-up will be what they are. I mean, if we have 7 minutes worth of follow-up, we have 7 minutes worth of follow-up. But I think if we, as Rachel said, if we give ourselves 20 minutes, that should be probably enough time, I would think. Let them do their presentation and
Okay.
any questions that we have. There may be some we don't have any questions for,
Okay.
so.
And probably, because I've seen this done for, is if we had somebody saying, when you have 1 minute left, and
Right.
30
Take care
seconds.
of that.
Okay, good.
Yep. That would be one of the meetings. So we're looking at maybe the week of June 10th?
I have a conference that I mean, if we can, unfortunately, it's an ACO conference for treasurers.
Maybe that's, we should look at our calendars and see what everybody's availability is for those terms, for that time.
I don't know if we can get everything prepared for next Friday. Like you said, we don't know for sure. Anybody who gets their apps in the mail today, when we would get those.
I
If
would
they got
think
them in
by-
the mail today, that we should have them by Tuesday.
Tuesday or Wednesday, yeah.
We should have them actually, we should have them by Monday, but Tuesday would be the latest.
So we have to have publication time for the meeting notice, and then contacting them for making sure they're even available to come in for an interview.
Is Friday a good day for both of you?
Friday is fine, the
The
7th,
7th is fine for me.
that works. And actually, that whole week is there, that whole time is open for me, so.
I guess we need to see if 113 is available.
Right. What if there's a conflict, what if an applicant has a conflict, how do you want to accommodate that? And they cannot be here on the 7th. Is there a backup date, in case some of these folks can't make it on June 2nd? Monday the 10th?
You're gone, right?
I'm here on the 10th.
Oh, you're on the 10th? I can. I can make that work. Do we want to say a time? I mean, if we say like on the 7th, afternoon, morning,
Maybe we'll do both. Some
Okay.
people may meet in the morning, some people may meet in the afternoon.
could do that.
I will look to see
See if that
when
would,
the room is available, and
see when the room and what time we have for
then
that.
if it is not, because they do a lot of shoots on Fridays down there, so if it's not available, is this room okay? As a backup, if it's available?
Can you get the audio, video if we need that?
So,
Okay.
this room would be compatible.
Yeah, I think this room is fine, because I can't imagine a lot of people would want to come spend the day. So, I mean, there would be that many people.
Again, I'll have to check its availability, but
Mhm.
I'll let you know. So Mondays, everybody's okay on Monday if we need to do?
Yeah, Monday,
walk on Monday, okay.
that's fine.
Okay.
So if we go Friday, let's see. On Friday the 7th, you want to do like from 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. or 10 a.m. 2 a.m. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.?
That's a long day.
That's a long day. 2 p.m., 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That gives us some time in the morning and then in the afternoon if,
Do you want to break for lunch, or are you planning
Yeah,
a
we-
lunch?
we could break. I mean, we're gonna need a break, so,
Well, if we have to go, if we can accommodate everybody and we have to go to 3,
yeah, no, that's fine.
I'm
That's-
I'm
yeah, I-
okay with that. Because it would be
I'll just
great
block
if
out
we
the whole
could,
afternoon, but,
Okay.
if we
So
could
I'll check
do,
on rooms first, and some of them will drive, or appointment times will drive, that will drive the appointment times, and then I can start reaching out to the applicants and see who we can bring in and at what time, and I'll stay in communication with everyone accordingly.
do we wanna say a half-hour break at noon for us and there's?
yeah, that,
Is that
yeah.
enough time, do you think?
Yeah, and
I
if
don't
we
know,
need
after
a,
sitting through 8 or 10 of these, maybe not.
Yeah.
Like, it's won't be that many in the morning, but.
Yeah.
So on that agenda, in addition to the interviews, would you like to include a public comment section?
do we need to, at some point, have a
Yes.
meeting with a public comment? And at what, where,
Or would you like that to be beginning of the agenda, or would you like public comment to come at the end, after all of the?
I would say at the end,
Of the applicants?
After all the
they've
applicants.
interviewed? Okay.
have an opportunity to speak and,
will it be part of the agenda, the order of who's up?
Their names would be listed in times. That's how I envisioned it.
Okay,
That would help. I think it would just help keep everything on track too. If that's okay with you all.
and, okay, I'm not, I don't know all about open meeting rules and laws and all that. For the public comment, are they limited?
You can have reasonable limits on the time, and you can also have a total cap on the time. So just for example, the county board has a limit of 3 to 5 minutes, and there's a total cap of 1 hour. So I'm not saying that you have to have a full hour, I'm just saying that's an example of a reasonable limitation on public comment.
I would be inclined to have a 3-minute limit.
yeah, I think that's,
Because each one of those people could have people come
Correct.
and
Correct.
want, I mean, if you have 10, if we have 10 people and they each have 10 people,
Right.
I mean, and then, so how do you determine who gets to, just in case we have a bunch of people coming to do public comment, how do we determine who gets?
Well,
they would each get 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as we can, so that'd be, if that's 20 people.
Okay,
I'll move that we limit public comment 3 minutes per person.
to a total of 1 hour?
I don't want to tie us necessarily to 1 hour.
Allow them to,
I mean, I think we could look at that, if there was 3 minutes, that would be
20 people for an hour.
20 people. So if there's 22, do we want to shut off?
Yeah,
the
no,
other
I
two?
think
mean,
that's right. I don't
I
think-
don't want to be that
Yeah.
restrictive.
Yeah. But I think, as.
Well, we should
As
put
Rachel was
something-
saying, if
we should do
if a
something
candidate comes in
reasonable.
with
Right.
5 or 6 people, that's 18 minutes, that's, over a quarter of
I
our
don't
time.
anticipate that happening.
I don't either.
I don't,
And they can send the letters,
yeah,
some have already, sent letters of support.
Okay,
That would be the best way for us to, but if the people want to make
I'm,
public
I'm,
comment.
I'm comfortable limiting people. I really, on this process, so.
okay, I just didn't want to be stuck there till late, because we didn't have a cap.
So is that a formal motion? Did you make
Yeah,
a formal
yeah.
motion?
Okay, so there's a formal motion then for a 3-minute
Per person,
per person public comment with at this time, no cap on it.
correct.
I'll second that.
You want to call the roll?
Rachel,
Yes,
Dan,
Yes.
Pat,
Yes.
3-0, motion carries.
I think we've covered everything in the agenda except for the list of current applicants.
Can I just, so are we going to agree or just do whatever we want about if we want to talk individually with people? I mean, I don't,
There's nothing to preclude that at all.
okay.
I mean, if that's what, you know,
Well, I don't want to, like, I don't want to be odd person out and do something or not do something that everybody else is doing.
I don't think that matters, Rachel.
Okay.
I think you're
Yeah.
totally independent. You
Okay,
can do whatever you want.
Yeah, if somebody wants to
Okay.
talk to you and, or you want to talk to them, I think that's,
Yeah.
that's
I mean,
fine, okay.
fine.
All right, I've had people approach me and I'm going, well, I don't
No,
know.
I have no concern with that.
Okay.
So
Okay, well, I just want to be clear because, you know,
I think whatever
when
you're
I've been
comfortable
approached.
with is, you know,
Okay,
in other words, I think we have a lot of latitude, so.
okay.
I guess since we've had a couple additions, I'll just read the names that we have for applications so far, so that it's part of the record.
that's fine.
Shane Jensen, Christy Joy, Greg Osborne, Larry Shear, Tammy Soper, Brody Weber, Michael Wilson, Christy Yoakum, James Harold, and David Beckner. Those are the ones we had as of about 10 till 9 this morning, so.
And so then do we want to agree that on, what, Tuesday of next week, we will have a published list of all the candidates, you know, if we get, you know, so everybody knows? So do we want to say that as Tuesday, or if we're doing this on Friday, we need to get the notice out on,
When you say
when-
notice, you want to do like a press release, or you just want it out on the website? I could do a running list starting right now on the website if you would like.
okay.
You know, or if you want
Yeah.
something more formal, we could technically do a press release as well. And I think having the information on the website is a good thing too. So it's really up to you, how you'd like to proceed.
I think it's fine if it's on the web.
Riley's here, so I'm sure there'll be some follow-up possibly. But if you'd like, I can get that.
Maybe do the website, and on Wednesday, we can do a news release
Just a
for
short
the
press
meeting
release,
coming up
just,
Friday and so forth.
So I'll just keep a current running list out on the web with everything that we have through today, and then anything I've added Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday, we can do a more formal release along with the meeting notice for the 7th, which
Right.
includes the first, maybe only round of interviews.
right.
We can get everybody on that.
If we can get everybody in on that, maybe we publish that list too of the times for the interviews, so that everybody knows who's going and when, so if they have public comments, they want to come in.
We'll plan on releasing that Wednesday, and like I said, hopefully it can be comprehensive on Friday. If not, we may have to go to Monday.
Right.
Okay.
The group might want to take a roll call vote, just adopting what you've all discussed about the meetings and the procedure. So the meeting on the 7th and possibly the 10th, and the format of 15 minutes per person with follow-up questions. So although it's apparent that there's agreement, I think you should just take a roll call vote to
Okay.
adopt it.
I move we begin interviews on June 7th and continue on the 10th if necessary, and that the 2 questions be provided to the applicants prior to them coming in, and that they have 15 minutes to make the presentation, and then we have several minutes, 5 minutes afterwards, for 5 to 10 minutes afterwards for any follow-up questions we may have.
I'll second.
You call the roll? Yeah, you call the roll.
I'm sorry?
I was calling roll.
Okay,
Dan,
yes.
Pat,
Yes.
Rachel.
Yes.
3-0, motion carries.
At some point, do we need to have another meeting, or at the end of that meeting, at the end of the interviews, is that when we're going to determine who our shortlist is? I'm just, this,
Yeah,
If we
and
have-
we should, we should discuss how, how we want to rate them, are we gonna take everybody's top 3, top 4, and if there's overlap, then, so we have an idea.
I would think we could each have our own type of rating system, and then we take our top 3,
Okay,
and we can probably interview the top 3 of our 3. That, I wouldn't imagine, or the top 2. I don't care either way, and I would imagine that there would be some overlap,
right.
probably not entirely. And we could just decide, even if we don't have anybody that needs to interview on Monday, that we would meet on Monday and bring our top 2. Or we meet after we're done with the interviews on Monday, if we have any.
Yeah, on Monday, we could maybe set that for interviews or announcing who the finalists are gonna be. Are we okay with that?
Yeah, I think
That,
so.
that gives me a little more time to, I don't know how long it's gonna take on Friday, we may
Right.
not be,
Right,
Yeah, I don't think we're ready on Friday to, because you might have to review the notes to say, because if you, I don't know, if you set up a rating system and you're rating while we're going, and then you end up with 6 people with the same high number, then you might want to review.
if we each come up with 3, that's potentially 9.
It is. 2
So,
is 6, I
would
think that's
assume- I
better.
would assume it'd be more like 7, but I don't know, 2, we may end up with only 3 or 4.
So
I
I'm
know-
hearing Monday could be potential, anybody who needs to come in and do their first round interview, possibly even second round interviews, and/or your discussion with a possible vote on.
I don't know
I
about
don't-
second.
I don't
what
think
about
second round, I think
No,
what
not
we'll
second
say
round.
is, the 7th will be for the first round, and then if there's anything that needs to be, if anybody needs to go on the 10th, we can take anybody that wasn't able to do it on the 7th, take them on the 10th, and then on the 10th, between who we heard on Friday the 7th and who we heard on Monday the 10th, we can have our ratings and kind of narrow that field down.
Yeah, if we have anybody we're talking to on Monday, after everybody's done, if there's 1 or more, we could maybe take a break for like a 15 to 30-minute
Sure.
break, where we could just
Each tabulator,
go and, because I don't know that we want to sit and figure that out while,
right, everybody's
during the
sitting around.
meeting, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we could just take a break and then come back together, if there's anybody we're interviewing.
And if there's not, we can just announce what our field's been narrowed down to.
And then we can also determine when and the process for the questions, which we've already sort of talked about, and it sounds like not too bad an idea, but we could formalize what we're going to do with the second round.
And do we need to decide how many we each want to propose? I mean,
Oh, yeah, I thought too, but no, we
Well,
do.
well,
You're
do we
right,
need
we
to vote
do.
on that, or-
We need
Yeah,
to
we
agree,
need
we
to
need a
vote.
motion
Okay.
on that. A motion that we will come up with each two and make a public announcement on Monday, the 10th. And then, and also at that meeting, decide the process for the second interview.
I'll second that.
And I just want to make sure on that, to the top two. So are we each naming our top two on Monday, or are we saying here are the six, or if there's, when we say the top two, I assume we're not limiting to two people,
Correct, it would be each of our,
right?
Unless we all have the same top two.
Exactly.
So we could have as few as two and as many as six.
and do you want to make a little bet on that?
I would.
What are the odds?
I don't think there'll be two.
So, and that's what, so, and again, in regards to your motion there, Dan, do we want to say that we each name our top two candidates, or do we say we each submit our top two, and then if there's any overlap, we can say, okay,
Oh, let's submit our top two, and then the top,
then if,
they can be announced, I mean, like, we could submit them to Corey.
so if there's only four, we know what four of those.
Right, and then it's not really known,
Trying to think how that's
or
gonna
do we
work.
need to know, or it doesn't have to be known
Are you submitting those to me at the meeting? in
at the
closed
meeting?
session?
Oh, I'm just, I don't know.
Can't you just say,
Yeah, I think you just
to
announce
say
each.
mine's top two would be
each
so-and-so
member.
and so-and-so, mine would be,
Okay.
mine would be, and then we know
Okay,
whether it's 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6.
all right, so then with that, I think Dan, is that,
That was Rachel's motion.
Rachel, is
That's-
that,
that's
is that fine?
Yep.
So, I
Is
think
that same
Rachel's motion was that we, and I just, we clarified that, so that each of us will name our top two candidates on Monday, and then we will, depending on if there's any overlap, we'll take those individuals and interview them a second time. All right, so we've had that motion. Second?
And it was seconded.
I'll second.
I think Dan seconded it.
Oh, did you? Okay, excuse me.
That's all right. Pat,
Yes.
Rachel,
Yes?
Dan.
Yes.
3-0, motion carries.
Is there anything else we need to cover?
Do we want to set a time for the second interview, just so the individuals kind of have an idea themselves?
That wouldn't be bad.
That curious in the week of the 17th, John? Everyone's schedule,
Right.
Yes,
okay?
unless, yeah, no, unless we wanted to do it on that Friday. But we're okay with time.
We're okay with time. I would say let's go the week of the 17th. Is that okay, Dan?
Sure.
Do you have anything?
Yep. that'll work.
Okay.
Good way to start the week.
So do we want to say Monday,
The 17th?
the 17th, would be for the second round of interview for the top individuals that we announce on the preceding Monday?
Which would be anywhere from 2 to 6. I
6,
guess.
correct.
And how long do we think?
Hour each.
Do an hour each or half hour? I mean, we're gonna know their presentation already, so
Okay.
they can give some, and then if we have some follow-up, I don't think they're gonna change much between,
No.
but we may have follow-up, I mean,
So half hour then?
half hour.
I think that, I think a half an hour will be pretty good.
All right, so, First, I'll make a motion that on June 17th, we start the second round of interviews for the top anywhere from 2 to 6 candidates, with a limit on each of those being a half hour.
Or if we do the round robin, excuse me, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
If we do the round robin, we could say we're going to do this for a maximum of 3 hours.
That's fine.
Because then what we're doing is, if you have 6 people,
Half hour, about half hour. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
so if we do round robin, then there is no need to put a cap of 30 minutes. But we may have to cap their answers. So like, I don't know. Depends how many questions we want to ask, and if we cap their answers at 5 minutes or.
Can we go ahead and establish the date and then leave the time, leave that part open at this point?
You want to establish the
determine-
date and time?
And then we can determine that later.
Before you adjourn on the 10th, perhaps you could talk
Yeah.
about strategy then for the 17th.
Sure. At least we have the date established and then,
How about a time on the 17th?
That would be good.
starting at 9?
In the morning?
Okay.
Does that
Okay.
work for you?
Absolutely.
I'll rearrange my schedule.
How about 7?
7 in the morning?
See how,
That's fine with me.
How,
I'm
No,
up.
I don't want to do 7
Well, we
in the
wanna see
morning on
how-
Monday.
you know,
Not on a
how
Monday.
dedicated are these people? You know,
Pat, did you want to continue with your motion, or would you like to withdraw that?
I'll withdraw that motion at this time.
I'll move then, second round on the 17th, beginning at 9. With the parameters to be established later.
Yeah. Okay. I would second that. And motion and second?
Dan,
Yes.
Rachel,
Yes.
Pat.
Yes.
3-0, motion carries.
And we'll just say your Monday dates, May 1/13, May, I might have a 50-50 shot because that's council day. A lot of times they're down
Right.
there various times, but maybe in the morning.
Which-
we'll be
which
okay.
one's that?
Room 113 downstairs,
Okay.
just next to the chambers.
Okay.
So we may have to be up here, but
Okay.
I'll do my best and I'll stay in communication with you all, so.
Okay.
there you go.
I think this room works fine.
Sure.
I think it's-
I'm quiet here.
so.
Yeah, because we could put tables together to do a row, and
Well, if there's nothing else, I'll move we adjourn.
I'll second.
All right.
Or did you have anything, Pat?
I was just looking if we, I believe that covers everything. We're just, did we formalize that we're going to just, as a list of the applicants, we're just gonna have a current list run on the website?
Correct. For the running list.
All right. Do we need to do anything with that?
You can make a motion and we can formalize it.
Okay. I'll make a motion then that we maintain a current list of the applicants on the county website.
Second.
Motion second?
Pat,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Rachel.
Yes.
3-0, motion carries.
I believe we have a motion and a
We
second to
do.
adjourn.
I guess I was premature, so.
To that motion, Rachel.
Yes.
Pat.
Yes.
Dan.
Yes.
3-0, motion carries.
All right.